The objective of the labor inspection is to further strengthen the implementation of the visitorial and enforcement powers under the Labor Code as renumbered, towards securing a higher level of compliance with labor laws and standards and ensuring continuity and sustainability of compliance at workplaces. For this purpose, the Department of Labor and Employment delegates this function to the regional offices with the issuance of a list of labor inspectors who are given the authority of conduct inspection, which covers all private establishments, including their branches and workplaces in the regions. The regional offices enforce labor laws and social legislation through the conduct of labor inspection, occupational safety and health investigation, and technical and advisory visit. Special inspections may be conducted as may be deemed necessary. With the provision for mobile devices and gadgets, the DOLE developed an inspection management information system. An important feature of the system is data capture and transmittal from the field in real time, as an electronic checklist is filled up through the use of mobile devices and gadgets. Data are instantly available for viewing and processing to generate reports, statistics, and summons, including real-time monitoring of decent work indicators based on the country's decent work profile. The TAV, or Technical and Advisory Visit, aims to provide assistance to the micro-establishments, or establishments that have 1 to 9 employees, to be sustainable, productive, and competitive. It also aims to transition our micro-establishments to the formal economy that is profitable, while also complying with our labor laws and occupational safety and health standards. There are different ways or modalities to avail TAV. First is the online method. Establishments can enroll in the self-paced technical and advisory modules through our learning management system. For establishments that opted to go with online, they must accomplish the modules within 1 month from the time they registered. Second is on-site. The DOLE regional, field, and provincial offices conduct on-site or face-to-face orientation for the technical and advisory services, wherein micro-establishments are invited to attend. Third is hybrid setup. Establishments can enroll in on-site sessions and attend virtual meetings or webinars using various online platforms like MS Teams, Viber, Skype, Zoom, or Google Meet.
Establishment owners carry a big responsibility to comply with labor laws, including submitting reports and providing documents like payroll records during inspections. But the manual filing process is a major challenge. They need to spend time, money, and effort to fill out forms and deliver them to the DOLE office, often dealing with traffic and delays. Sometimes, there's a long wait just to confirm if the report is accurate and complete. And it's not just employers facing difficulties. DOLE employees also struggle with limited manpower and the time-consuming task of reviewing and processing these reports. The time has come for change. What's required now is a more innovative, streamlined, and efficient process for handling compliance reports. One that will simplify life not just for businesses but also for DOLE employees. Welcome to the DOLE Online Compliance Portal, your all-in-one platform for seamless compliance submissions, designed to make compliance easier and more convenient for establishment owners. Telecommuting reports? Flexible work arrangement submissions? Reporting the 13th month pay? No problem. Even work accident or illness reports and the annual establishment report on wages, everything you need is now in one convenient portal. Plus, the DOLE Online Compliance Portal now includes the latest requirement for reporting movie and television shoots under Department Order 246, Series of 2024. All your compliance needs in one place, quick, secure, and hassle-free. With the DOLE Online Compliance Portal, registering your establishment is a breeze. Our automatic registration system ensures you are instantly compliant with OSH Standard Rule 1020. Once submitted, your certificate of registration is immediately available for download, saving you time and effort. Your establishment has been flagged for non-compliance during labor inspection. Don't worry. Required documents can be submitted quickly and conveniently. And if you're missing certain policies, like a mental health program or OSH program, we've got you covered with downloadable templates. Submit these documents directly through the portal, where DOLE inspectors will review, provide feedback, and keep you on track for compliance. With admin access on the DOLE online compliance portal, the labor inspectors can easily review the submitted reports and documents from the establishments. If further verification is needed, they can schedule an online meeting through Google Meet, all within the portal. This streamlines compliance checks, saving time and making the process more efficient for everyone. It's a smarter, more efficient way to stay compliant and keep your business running smoothly. Welcome to a new era of compliance, simplified, fast, and effective with the DOLE online compliance portal.
Isang mapagpalang hapon po sa ating taga-subaybay sa Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. Welcome sa isa na namang makabuluhang talakayan this webinar Wednesdays, handog ng Department of Labor and Employment hosted by the Bureau of Working Conditions. I'm Drowen Vargas and I will be your host for today's session. Last week's episode, tinalakay natin ang flexible work arrangement, ang iba't ibang paraan kung paano ito pinapatupad at ang mga legal basis sa pagpapatupad nito. Ngayong Season 3, Episode 33, ang topic naman natin ay may kinalaman sa usaping pang-pinansyal. At ito ay pinamagatang SSS Benefits and Services. But before we begin our webinar, let us start with a prayer.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you today with hearts full of gratitude for the opportunity to gather in this webinar. We thank you for the gift of technology that allows us to connect, learn, and grow even from afar. We ask for your guidance and wisdom for every speaker and participant so that we may share valuable and inspiring insights. Help us listen with open minds and hearts, eager to learn from one another. Grant us clarity of thought and expression, making our discussions meaningful and impactful. We pray that this session fosters understanding, collaboration, and the sharing of knowledge that benefits everyone. May your presence be felt in our midst, encouraging a spiritual of unity and respect. We trust in your divine wisdom to lead us through any challenges or difficulties we may face today. As we conclude this time together, may we carry forward the lessons we have learned with a renewed sense of purpose and dedication. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Good afternoon once again and hello sa ating Facebook Live participants. Para sa ating mga viewers, huwag kalimutang i-like and heart react ang ating live stream. At pakishare na rin ito sa inyong workmates, family, and friends upang magkaroon sila ng bagong kaalaman. And don't forget to use hashtag Webinar Wednesdays. Please hit the follow button on our Facebook page DoleBWC1949 to get updated on the latest announcements and to know more about the labor standards and occupational safety and health standards in the workplace. For questions or inquiries, kindly use the comment section and this will be addressed by the resource speaker after the lecture. We will now proceed with the discussion proper. On September 1, 1957, the Social Security System or SSS was established by virtue of Republic Act number 1161 or the Social Security Act of 1954. Its mandate is to create a stable and sustainable tax-exempt social security system that is in line with the needs of the Filipino people and promote social justice by offering members and their beneficiaries meaningful protection against the risk of old age, disability, death, illness, maternity, and other unforeseen circumstances leading to loss of income or financial burden. For the past 6 decades, SSS has served millions of Filipinos within and outside the country and provided them with reliable, responsive, and robust social security protection. Before we delve into the benefits and services offered by SSS, let me introduce to you our resource speaker who will impart to us his knowledge about today's topic. He is a seasoned public service professional with extensive experience in office administration and public administration. He obtained his bachelor's degree in office administration from the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Santa Mesa in 2007, and subsequently earned a master's degree in public administration from the Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Valenzuela, all while balancing a full-time career. Since 2007, he has been with the training arm of the Social Security System where he began as a communication analyst. Through dedication and expertise, he has steadily advanced and now serves as the acting head of the SSS Member Education Department, leading initiatives of enhanced member awareness and education nationwide. Everyone, let us welcome Mr. Jomer C. Gonzalez.
Okay, so good afternoon everyone. I hope that you can hear me loud and clear. Okay ba yung audio ko sa inyo? Yan, so kindly give me a few seconds lang just to share my presentation. Lang po. Okay. So, i-off ko na muna yung aking camera ha para medyo ano tayo, less bandwidth tayo para wala tayong maging problem mamaya sa internet sa connectivity natin. Okay? Visible na po ba yung slide sa inyo? Okay, so let's start. So again, I'm Robert Gonzalez from the Member Education Department of the Social Security System. So I'm here to discuss with you the benefits and privileges offered by SSS. So the outline of my presentation, first, pag-uusapan natin yung coverage and contribution, followed by the benefits administered by the system, the My SSS Pension Booster. So ito yung ating investment programs, okay, for our members. And of course, yung ating short-term loan programs. And it will be followed by legal obligations of employers. So mamaya po sa dulo ng aking presentation, I will be discussing yung mga legal obligation ng ating mga employers. Okay? So yung mga employed members na kasama natin dito as well as yung mga yung mga employers din. Okay? So ito po. So to start with, let me define first ano nga ba ang Social Security. So Social Security is the protection that the society gives its members against economic and social risks caused by contingencies such as sickness, maternity, unemployment, disability, retirement, and death. So let me emphasize the word protection. So the SSS acts as a safety net wherein it provides protection. Saan tayo pinoprotektahan po? From the loss of income. So, paano tayo nawawalan ng kita? So, nandyan po. So, because of the following contingencies. So, yung mga miyembro na nagkasakit, nagdalang tao, nawalan ng trabaho, nabalda, tumanda at namatay. Okay? So, isa-isahin po natin yan mamaya. So, for the coverage, so we have two types of coverage in SSS. So we have the compulsory and voluntary. So when we say compulsory, okay, so mandatory po ang coverage. So for compulsory coverage, we have the employed, self-employed, members, we have the household helpers. Actually, ang household helpers po, they are considered as employed. So, hiniwalay lang natin to give emphasis na ang coverage po ng mga kasambahay ay mandatory and OFWs. Okay? So, yung lalo na po para sa mga sea-based OFWs. Okay? Mandatory po ang kanilang coverage. And then we have the voluntary membership. So, when we say voluntary, optional po yan. So under the voluntary, we have the separated employees. So alin ka po dun sa compulsory. So dati kang employed, dati kang self-employed, dati kang household helper or OFW, natigil sa paghuhulog. Okay? Gustong ipagpatuloy ng miyembro, pwede po yan as a separated member. And then, non-working spouse under the voluntary coverage. Ito po yung asawa ng isang actively paying member. So, i-declare po niyang income kalahati po ng kinikita ng kanyang asawa. Okay? So, currently, ang contribution rate sa SSS ay 15%, wherein if you're employed, kahati po ninyo ang employer dyan, 10% po ang sinasagot nila, 5% naman po para sa employee. Okay. Pero po para sa mga individually paying member, yung mga self-employed, voluntary, non-working spouse, they have to shoulder the whole 15% since wala po silang employer. So, ang pinakamababang monthly salary credit po natin ay nasa 5,000 wherein ang equivalent contribution po niyan ay nasa 750 while the maximum monthly salary credit ay 35,000 wherein ang equivalent contribution po niyan ay nasa 5,250. Pero tandaan po natin, for the regular Social Security Program, kung saan po nakabase po yung computation ng ating mga benefit, ang maximum monthly salary credit pa rin po natin dyan ay 20,000 pesos. So for those members na kumikita ng more than 20,000 pesos up to 35,000 pesos nga po, may additional contribution tayo dyan na pumapasok po, napupunta po yan sa mandatory provident funds. So ito po yung another saving scheme naman. Okay? So para po mas malaki yung maging retirement benefit na matatanggap ng ating mga miyembro once they retire. Okay? So, isasahin po natin yung mga benefit. So, for the benefit, so hinati po natin ang benefit into two types. We have the short term. So, ito po yung mga benefit that addresses the members' immediate needs and requires contribution over the specified period to qualify. So, while yung mga long-term benefit naman po natin, so, andyan po yung disability, retirement, death, okay, funeral, and then yung ating okay. So yung nga po yung disability benefit. For disability kasi dalawa kasi yan. We have the partial disability and then we have the total disability. So ito po yung mga benefit designed to address the member's long-term need and requiring full qualification through all contributions made. Okay? So isisahin po natin siya. So una po muna yung sickness benefit. So for sickness benefit, it's a daily cash allowance paid to a member for the number of days the member is unable to work due to sickness or injury. So unable to work means absence from work, and to qualify, the member must be on leave for at least 4 days. 4 na araw na nagkasakit ang miyembro, and it should be consecutive days. Okay, so dapat dire-diretso ho yan. Also, the member must have at least 3 months contribution. So 3 hulog po sa loob ng 12 buwan bago ang semestre ng pagkakasakit. So for example, yung mga miyembro po na nagkasakit ngayong September 2025, ang semester of contingency po niyan ay, okay, so ang semester of contingency po niyan is July, August, September, April to September ho yan. Okay, so April to September, yan po yung semester of contingency. Ibig sabihin po, hindi po natin gagamitin yung contributions ninyo April, May, June, July, August. Hindi ho natin gagamitin yan. Okay? So ano pong gagamitin natin? We have to count 12 months backward prior to the semester of contingency. So ano po yung 12-month period? The 12-month period po ninyo ay April 2024 to March of 2025. 2025. So yan po yung inyong yun po yung inyong 12-month period. So within that 12-month period, may 3 hulog po kayo kahit hindi po yan sunod-sunod. Then at yung nagkasakit nga ho kayo, hindi bababa ng 4 na araw, then pwede ho kayo makapag-claim ng sickness benefit kay SSS. Okay? So para sa mga employed members, notification must be submitted to the employer. So after po na makapagpatingin kayo sa inyong attending physician for home confinement illnesses, dapat po within 5 days after the start of confinement, dapat po na makapag-notify na ho kayo sa inyong employer. At yung employer naman po ninyo, meron naman din silang 5 araw to notify SSS. But for hospital confinement, meron po kayong 1 year from the date of discharge, okay, to notify your employer, as well as for your employer to notify SSS and request for reimbursement. Okay? So again, yung 5 days employee to employer, 5 days employer to SSS, or yung 10-day notification rule natin, ina-apply lang po natin yan sa home confinement. Okay. Also for employed members, okay, so isa po sa mga qualifying conditions natin, dapat ubos po yung inyong company sick leave with pay for the current year. Okay? So kung halimbawa, nagkasakit po yung miyembro ng 10 araw pero may 3 araw pa siya na company sick leave with pay, 7 days na lang po dyan ang babayaran ng SSS kasi yung remaining 3 days covered na ho yan ng inyong company sick leave with pay. Okay? So hanggang ilang araw po ang pwedeng ma-avail ng miyembro. Okay? Pwede po ma-entitle ang miyembro up to maximum of 120 days sa loob po ng 1 taon. Okay? So with regard to the matter filing, okay, so online po yan. So for our individually paying member, so kinakailangan po na meron kayong My.SSS account kasi through your My.SSS account, okay, doon po ninyo isasubmit yung inyong sickness benefit claim. So pag nagsabit po kayo ng inyong sickness benefit claim, so kailangan kasama na rin po doon yung mga supporting medical documents. So ganun din para sa mga employers natin, since ang notification po ay through employer, so hindi po makakapag-notify ang employer without the supporting medical documents na manggagaling naman sa kanilang employee. So para po sa mga employee, yan, advice lang po namin sa inyo na after na makapagpatingin po kayo sa inyong attending physician, na-secure nyo na ho yung mga medical documents, immediately submit na ho yan sa inyong employer kasi kakailanganin ho yan ng employer ninyo para naman makapag-notify sila kay SSS. Then after po na makapag-notify kay SSS yung inyong employer, okay? So that will be evaluated by SSS, and then yung evaluated sickness claim po ibabalik ho yan, sickness notification ibabalik ho yan ng SSS sa employer ninyo, nakalagay na po doon ilang araw po yung inaaprubahan ng SSS at yun naman po ay i-advance ng employer sa inyo. Okay? So now, let's go to maternity benefit. So another short-term benefit po ito. So maternity benefit is a daily cash allowance. Okay, same din po ng sickness benefit. It is also a daily cash allowance granted to female member. Okay, so tandaan po natin ha, babaeng miyembro lamang po ang may maternity benefit o pwedeng makapag-claim ng maternity benefit who is unable to work due to childbirth or miscarriage or emergency termination of pregnancy. Ang qualifying conditions po natin dito, dapat yung babaeng miyembro ay nakapaghulog ng at least 3 months within the 12-month period prior to the semester of birth, miscarriage, or emergency termination of pregnancy. Again, kung halimbawa yung miyembro ho, yung babaeng miyembro natin, nanganak siya ngayong September 2025, ang semester of contingency po niyan ay April to September. Okay? So April to September ho yan. So yan po yung inyong 12-month period. Ibig sabihin, yan po yung inyong semester of contingency. Ibig sabihin yung 12-month period po ninyo will be from April 2024 to March of 2025. Okay? So yung 12-month period po na yan. So within that 12-month period, may 3 hulog po kayo. Then, pwede ho kayong makapag-claim ng maternity benefit kay SSS. Gayun din, kagaya po ng kahalagahan ng pag-notify sa sickness benefit, importante din po yung notification dito sa ating maternity benefit. So para po sa mga employed, okay, female member natin, so sa employer po kayo doon po kayo sa employer ninyo magno-notify. At ang employer naman po ninyo ang magno-notify naman kay SSS of your pregnancy. Okay? So, for the maternity benefit, SSS is already implementing the expanded maternity leave law. And under the expanded maternity leave law, basta po buhay na ipinanganak ang sanggol, regardless of the manner of delivery, maaari pong makatanggap ang miyembro ng benefit equivalent to 105 days. Kung yung nanganak po na miyembro ay solo parent, so pag sinabi solo parent, dapat may na-present po siya na solo parent ID or certification na siya po ay isang solo parent, may additional 15 days po para sa live childbirth. So for a total of 120 days ang benefit na maaari ho niyang matanggap. However, kung yung pagbubuntis po ay nauwi sa pagkakunan or emergency termination of pregnancy, including stillbirth, yung benefit po na pwede niyang matanggap is up to 60 days only. Okay, so hanggang maximum of 60 days lang po yung pwede niyang matanggap dyan. So one of the silent features of the expanded maternity leave law is that yung ating mga female member po, pwede ho niyang i-allocate part of her leave kanino sa child's father, regardless ho kung sila ay kasal o hindi, or in the absence of the child's father, pwede ho yan sa alternate caregiver. So pwede po siyang mag-allocate up to maximum of 7 days. So yung 7 days, ibabawas natin yan dun sa 105 days. So ibig sabihin po, yung benefit na maaring makuha po ng ating babaeng miyembro ay nasa 98 days na lang kung mag-allocate ho siya ng 7 days doon po sa child's father. So mamaya baka may magtanong, paano ho kung kasal sila? Okay, yung miyembro, yung babaeng miyembro at saka yung child's father, kasal ho sila. Mag-a-avail ho yung child's father ng paternity leave sa company. Is it on top? So the answer is yes. Okay, so on top po siya. Yun nga lang po, kay paalala, hindi po reimbursable yung 7 days na ina-allocate po ng female member sa child's father. Okay, so it will be an additional leave credit po para doon sa child's father o para po sa alternate caregiver. Okay? So isa pa po sa kagandahan ngayon ng ating maternity benefit, since we are already implementing the expanded maternity leave law, wala na po tayong limit with regards to the number of pregnancies. Okay? So as long as na-meet po ng ating female member yung mga qualifying conditions na binanggit ko kanina, kahit pang ilang pagbubuntis na po ito, maaari ho siyang makatanggap ng maternity benefit. Maaari ho siyang mag-claim ng maternity benefit kay SSS. With regard to the prescriptive filing period, meron pong 10 years. Okay? So 10 years po yung binibigay ho natin sa ating miyembro para makapag-claim. So halimbawa, nanganak po yung babaeng miyembro ngayong araw na to. Okay? Ngayong buwan ng September 2025. And for unknown reason, hindi po siya nag-claim even though qualified siya sa maternity benefit. Okay? Hindi siya nag-claim ng maternity benefit kay SSS. As long as hindi pa po naglalapse yung ating 10 years na prescriptive filing period, intact pa po lahat ng mga supporting medical document, pwede pa po niyang i-claim yan. Okay? So with regard to the manner of filing, so online na po tayo. So via the members my.sss account. Okay, para po yan sa mga individually paying member, pero para po sa mga employed, okay, employed members, okay, kina-cash advance po ng employer yung maternity benefit sa kanilang employee. Actually, hindi lang po yung maternity benefit yung dapat na ina-advance ng ating mga employer. So, kasi po under the expanded maternity leave law, entitled na po sa full pay yung ating mga female worker. So, ibig sabihin kung magkano ho yung kinikita nila, kung halimbawa 105 days, so that is equivalent to 3.5 months. So kung magkano po yung equivalent na sahod niya for 3.5 months, okay, yun po yung dapat na matanggap niya. Kaya naman kung may kakulangan doon sa maternity benefit na makukuha kay SSS, so may differential ho yan, yung differential po sasagutin yan ng ating mga employer. Okay? So para po sa mga katanungan ninyo, i-post nyo lang po yan dyan sa comment section and then later po, okay, sasagutin natin sila. Okay? Then, yan. Next po yung ating unemployment benefit. So, unemployment benefit is a cash benefit granted to members who are involuntarily separated from employment. So, when we say involuntarily separated, so hindi po niya kagustuhan, siya po ay sapilitang nawalan ng trabaho. Example po ng involuntary separation, yung mga employees po na nawalan ng trabaho because of redundancy, retrenchment, due to economic downturn, or due to human or nature-induced calamities. Okay? So again, hindi ko gusto ng empleyado, siya po ay tinanggal o nawalan ng trabaho. Ano po ang qualifying conditions natin dyan? Una, yung miyembro wala pa siyang 60 years of age at the time of separation. Kung siya po ay mine worker, dapat wala pang 50 years old. Kung racehorse jockey naman, 55 years old. With regard to contribution, dapat po meron siyang at least 36 months, 12 of which nasa 18-month period prior to month of separation. At wala pa siyang natatanggap na unemployment benefit within the last 3 years. Okay? So isa po ito sa mga limitation ng ating unemployment benefit na kung saan maaari lamang makatanggap ang miyembro o makapag-avail ng unemployment benefit kay SSS once every 3 years. And lastly, separation did not arise from the employee's fault or negligence. So ang prescriptive filing period po natin ay 1 year from the date of separation. So mamaya baka may magtanong, halimbawa po nawalan ho ako ng trabaho for 2 months. Na-meet ko po yung lahat ng qualifying condition pero hindi po ako kaagad nag-claim kasi ang una ko pong, inasikaso, yung una kong inatupag, eh, maghanap ng trabaho. So, inuna ko ho na maghanap ng trabaho. Ngayon po ay employed na ako, okay. Pero for 2 months, eh, wala ho akong trabaho kasi yun nga po naghahanap ako ng trabaho, okay. So, yun yung aking inasikaso muna. So, ang tanong ngayon, employed na po ako, puwede pa rin ba ako mag-claim ng unemployment benefit kay SSS? So, the answer is yes. Okay, so puwedeng-puwede pa rin po. Paano po ang manual filing? Again, pinadali na po ito via the members My.SSS account. Okay, so online na rin po yung filing natin. So, hindi niyo na po kinakailangan pang pumunta pa kay SSS just to submit your application kasi ang kailangan niyo lang pong gawin ay mag-login sa inyong online account. Okay? So, ang benefit po pala natin ay 50% ng inyong average monthly salary credit at maaari ho kayong makatanggap ng benefit good for 2 months. Okay? Next is yung ating disability benefit. So as I have mentioned, okay, so yung disability benefit po ay cash benefit granted to member who becomes permanently disabled either partial or total. So kagaya na nabanggit ko kanina, dalawa ho yung types of disability natin. Permanent partial and permanent total disability. Okay? So, pag sinabi pong permanent partial, ito po ay complete and permanent loss of any body part but does not prevent the member from engaging in a gainful occupation. So, ibig sabihin, capable to work pa rin po yung ating miyembro. Example ng permanent partial disability, pagka naputol ho yung mga daliri natin. Yan. So, example po, kung yung thumb po ninyo naputol ho yan, that is equivalent to 10 months. Okay? 10 months na monthly pension basta po yung miyembro nakahulog ng 36 months prior to the semester of contingency. So, partial disability lang siya. So, pag sinabi ding pag partial disability, entitled pa po kayo sa iba pang benefit kay SSS. Okay? At hindi ho siya inaawas ha. Yung iba ho kasi, may ibang miyembro na akala nila pagka nag-avail sila ng disability, pagdating ng panahon na pag sila po ay nag-retire, eh, ibabawas ho dun sa retirement benefit. So, hindi po yan totoo. Okay? So, qualified kayo sa disability, punta kay SSS. Kung wala ho kayo, kasi online na rin po ang filing po nito, pero pwede pa rin po yung over the counter. So, punta lang ho kayo kay SSS or mag-login kayo sa inyong My.SSS account at i-submit po ninyo yung inyong application. Okay? Then another type of disability, yung permanent total. So it is a condition wherein the member is completely and permanently prevented from engaging in any gainful occupation. Example po ng permanent total disability, amputation or paralysis po ng both arms or both legs or head injury that results to insanity or complete blindness. Okay? So, if qualified, the member shall receive a temporary pension depending on the partial disability. Pero pagka total disability po yan at ang miyembro nakahulog ng at least 36 months prior to the semester of contingency, lifetime pension po yung pinagkakaloob natin. Yung 36 months po na kinakailangan para ma-qualify tayo sa disability benefit, hindi po kinakailangan na yan po ay tuloy-tuloy. Basta po nakapag-accumulate siya ng at least 36 months. Okay? Prior to the semester of contingency, pension po yung ibibigay natin. Kung less than 36, then lump sum benefit po yan. Okay? Provided na ang miyembro po ay entitled sa monthly pension, meron po tayong supplemental allowance na idinadagdag. Okay? Magkano po yan? 500 pesos. Every December, meron din po tayong pinagkakaloob na 13-month pension. Okay? Para po doon sa mga tumatanggap ng pension at least 12 months. Okay? At para po sa total disability pensioner, kung meron po silang minor child or children, meron din po tayong pinagkakaloob na dependence pension equivalent to 10% of the basic monthly pension or 250, whichever is higher. Ang prescriptive filing period po natin para sa disability ay 10 years from the occurrence of disability. Okay? So, 10 years po yan. So, again, kagaya po na nabanggit ko kanina, ang disability benefit po, ang manner of filing po niyan, dalawa po yan. So, pwede po yung over-the-counter. So, pwede nyo pong isubmit yung inyong disability claim at any SSS office nearest you or yung pas pinadali po natin na proseso na kung saan pwede na po ninyong isubmit yan yung inyong application via your My.SSS account. Okay? Then we have the retirement benefit. So retirement benefit is a cash benefit paid to a member who can no longer work due to old age. So maaari mag-file ng retirement ang miyembro sa edad na 60 years old provided na meron siyang at least 120 contribution at separated na from employment. Kaya optional kasi may condition tayo na dapat masatisfy ng member dyan. Kung ang miyembro naman ay umabot na po sa edad na 65 years old, yan ho yung ating compulsory retirement age. Okay? So regardless kung employed man siya o hindi na, basta po siya po ay nakahulog ng hindi bababa sa 120 contribution at siya po ay nasa edad na 65 years old na, kailangan na ho niya mag-file ng retirement kay SSS kasi yan na ho yung ating compulsory retirement age. So for those who are asking, wala na po bang mas mababa pa doon sa 60? So kung meron ho kayong mga kilala na racehorse jockey, yan, pinababa ho yung retirement age nila, okay? At age of 55 years old. So yan ho yung kanilang mas pinababang retirement age. So that is effective May 24 of 2016 at yan po ay pinababa, okay, sa ilalim ng batas RA 10789. Okay. So kung may mga kilala naman po kayo na mine worker, okay, so pinababa din po yung kanilang retirement age, okay, so effective April 27 of 2016. So 50 years old na lang po yung kanilang yung optional retirement age nila. So yan po ay pinababa naman under RA 10757. Okay? So again, yung ating mga racehorse jockey 55, yung ating mga mine worker naman po 50 years old. So ano po yung magic number natin sa retirement? 120. Basta po hindi bababa ng 120 months yung hulog ng isang miyembro, maaari ho siyang makatanggap na ng monthly pension kay SSS. Okay? Paano ho kung kulang sa 120 months? Then lump sum benefit po yung kanyang matatanggap. So mamaya baka may magtanong din uli. So ang tanong, Sir, ang hulog ko po ay nasa 100 months. Okay, nakaka 100 months pa lang po ako. 60 years old na po ako. Okay, lump sum na lang po ba yung option na benefit na matanggap ko? Hindi po. Okay? So kung kayo po ay kulang sa 120 contribution pero willing po kayo na magpatuloy ng inyong paghuhulog regardless of your age, maaari po ninyo ipagpatuloy yan as a voluntary paying member. Hindi ho namin tatanungin kung ilang taon na ho kayo. Okay? Ang importante po dyan, andun po yung willingness to continue. Okay? Continue to pay your contribution. Regardless of your age, maaari ho ninyo ipagpatuloy yan at pag nakompleto nyo po yung 120, Okay? Monthly pension po yung inyong matatanggap. Ano po ang kagandahan pagka ang miyembro ay qualified sa monthly pension? Maaari ho ninyo i-advance yung inyong 18 months pension upon application. Also, okay, may 13-month pension din po tayo na pinagkakaloob every December. At meron din po tayo dependence pension kung meron ho kayong anak na below 21 years old. So yung dependence pension, again, it's 10% of the basic monthly pension or 250 whichever is higher. So applicable po yan up to 5 minor children starting from the youngest without substitution. At ano pa po ang kagandahan ng retirement benefit? Lifetime po ito. Okay, actually hindi nga lang lifetime. Kasi sa oras po na ang ating retiree pensioner ay namaalam, okay, so makabilang buhay na po siya at meron pa po siyang primary beneficiary. So, example ng primary beneficiary, yung inyong dependent legal spouse, buhay pa po yung asawang pinakasalan, 100% po ang ililipat natin sa kanila. Okay? So, with regard to the manner filing para sa ating retirement benefit, okay, dalawa ho yan. Pwede po over the counter. So, sa alin man tanggapan ng SSS na malapit sa inyo or online. So, via the members my.sss account. Okay? Then we have the funeral benefit. So, funeral benefit po ay cash benefit payable to the legal spouse or to whoever defrays the burial expense of the deceased member. Okay? Magkano po ang maaaring ma-claim under funeral benefit? Kung yung namatay na miyembro po ay nakapaghulog ng less than 36 months, okay, up to the month of death, fixed po 12,000 pesos. Pero kung yung namatay na miyembro po ay nakahulog ng at least 36 months, okay, up to the month of death, so nagre-range po between 20 to 60,000 pesos yung funeral claim na maaaring matanggap kay SSS. So, sino-sino po yung pwedeng mag-claim ng funeral benefit kay SSS? Number one, okay, nahahanapin ng SSS ay ang inyong surviving legal spouse. Okay, sila po muna yung maaaring mag-claim. Okay, so kung yung miyembro po ay single o di kaya naman po separated na siya sa kanyang legal spouse o di kaya naman yung surviving legal spouse nag-execute po siya ng waiver na hindi siya mag-claim ng funeral benefit kay SSS, tsaka po natin pwedeng bayaran yung children, parents, or any other natural person who defrays the burial expense. Mayroon tayong prescriptive filing period para sa funeral benefit, 10 years ho yan from the month of death. So with regard to the manner filing, paano po yung manner filing yan? Kung ang claimant po ay miyembro din ng SSS, so maaari pong isubmit yung inyong funeral claim via the claimant's my.sss account. Pero kung ang claimant po ay hindi naman miyembro ng SSS, maaari pong isubmit yung inyong funeral claim sa alinmang tanggapan ng SSS na malapit sa inyo. Okay. Then we have death benefit. Death benefit is a cash benefit granted either as a monthly pension or lump sum to the beneficiaries of a deceased member. Monthly pension, yung ipagkakaloob natin kung ang namatay na miyembro po ay nakapaghulog ng hindi bababa sa 36 months before the semester of death at ang babayaran po natin ay ang kanyang primary beneficiaries. Okay? Kung ang kung ang namatay na miyembro naman po ay nakapaghulog ng less than 36 months prior to the semester of death at ang benefit po ay pagkakaloob sa primary beneficiaries, lump sum po yan. However, kung ang namatay na miyembro ay nakapaghulog ng 36 contribution prior to the semester of death, pero po, ang benefit ay ipagkakaloob natin sa kanyang secondary designated or legal heirs, regardless of the number of contributions paid by the deceased member, lump sum benefit din po yan. So ito po yung ating hierarchy or order of beneficiaries pagdating sa death benefit. So unang hinahanap ng SSS ang inyong primary beneficiary. Sino po ang primary beneficiary? Ang inyong dependent legal spouse and minor child and children. Okay, kung wala po ang primary, susunod po yung secondary, magulang ng namatay na miyembro. Kung wala na rin po ang mga secondary beneficiaries, susunod po yung mga designated. Ang designated po, yung nilagay po ninyo sa inyong SSS record. So, pwedeng kapatid po yan or anak na umabot na po sa edad na 21. Ang anak po, pagka below 21 years old, they are considered as primary beneficiary. Pero pagka tumungtong na ho yan sa edad na 21, they will be considered as designated provided na inilagay ho sila sa SSS record ng deceased member. Okay? Naideklara ho sila ng miyembro sa kanilang record prior to his or her death. Okay? And then lastly, kung wala na rin pong designated beneficiaries, ang titignan na ho namin, ang hahanapin na ho ng SSS yung inyong legal heirs. So this is in accordance with the laws of succession in the Philippines. Okay? Yung immediate family nyo na po. So again, babalikan lang po natin. Primary beneficiaries lang po ang pwedeng makatanggap ng monthly pension. Basta nakahulog ang deceased member ng at least 36 months prior to the semester of death. Kung ang babayaran po natin ay secondary down to legal heirs, regardless of the number of contributions paid by the deceased member, okay, lump sum benefit po yan. Okay. So ito po, good news ha sa ating mga pensioner. Okay, yan. May good news po kami. So probably baka yung ibang mga pensioner nga ho, ano na eh, malamang alam na to kasi natanggap na nila. So we have the pension reform program. So that's under Circular 2025-005 wherein meron po tayong, meron po tayong increase in your monthly pension over a 3-year period. Okay? So nag-start na ho tayo, okay, itong September. So for our retiree and disability pensioner, meron po tayong inaasahan na 10% increase in our pension starting this year, 2025, until 2027. And for survivorship pensioner, ito po yung mga tumatanggap ng pension under death benefit, meron po silang 5% increase naman starting this year, 2025, up to 2027. Okay? So yung para po diyan sa mga nagtatanong, para po sa ating pension reform program, paano ho kung halimbawa qualified ano po pensioner na ho ako. Dapat entitled na ho ako sa pension January pa lang, hindi pa lang po ako nag-claim. Okay. Meron po, kasama ho ba ako sa pension increase? The answer is yes. So the amount of the pension increase may be paid as a differential to certain covered pensioners such as those with yung mga in process, pending, o yung mga nag-request ng re-adjudication. Okay? Gayun din po yung mga pensioner nag-advance ng 18 months. Okay? So, paano ho yun? Paano, kasi na-advance na nila yung pension nila for 1.5 year. Paano po yung, yung difference? So, ibabayad din po natin yan sa kanila. Okay? So, again, yan ho yung good news natin para sa ating mga pensioner. Okay. So we're down to the Social Security benefit. Next po yung ating My SSS Pension Booster. So yung My SSS Pension Booster, actually, ano pa po ito ha? Iba pa po ito do sa Mandatory Provident Fund. Ito pong My SSS Pension Booster, it's a voluntary provident fund for additional protection po. At ito po ay nakadepende sa capacity to save ng ating miyembro. So sino-sino po yung pwedeng avail o mag-enroll sa ating My SSS Pension Booster. Open po ito to all types of member regardless po ng inyong monthly salary credit. So for those who are interested, okay, ang kailangan nyo lang pong gawin is mag-log in sa inyong My.SSS account at under services, i-click nyo lang po yung Pension Booster. Magkano po ang pwede ninyong i-contribute dito? Maari ho kayo makapag-contribute minimum of 500 pesos per remittance po yan ha, per remittance. Okay? So wala po tayong cap pagdating sa maximum amount. Okay? So any amount, kung halimbawa po meron kayong 1 million sa inyong bank account, gusto niyo rather than na nandun siya sa inyong bangko, gusto niyo mas safe siya, tapos mas high yield. Okay? So mas malaki yung kinikita niya, gusto niyo siyang i-invest sa My SSS Pension Booster, pwede po. So, ang requirement lang ho natin dyan, para kung kayo po ay employed member, meron kayong at least one contribution applicable in the last 3 months. Para naman po sa mga individually paying member, meron kayong contribution for the current applicable month kung kailan po din po kayo magre-remit ng inyong contribution. So, how to pay your contribution? Ang kailangan nyo lang pong gawin is kayo po ay magkikreate ng payment reference number o PRN. So punta lang po kayo sa PRN menu at i-click nyo lang po yung contributions. Okay? And then select generate PRN. Okay? So yan po. Kung employed po kayo, yung mga nanonood sa atin ngayon, kung kayo po ay employed, select nyo lang po yung pension booster only. Yan. Okay? Tapos maglagay lang po kayo, magkano po yung gusto nyo i-contribute, and then click Generate PRN. Okay. So yung kagandahan po ng ating MySSS Pension Booster, okay? Wala lang po tayong withdrawal for the first year except for extreme hardship. So, kung halimbawa may sakit yung miyembro kahit wala pang 1 year, okay? Pwede na ho niyang withdrawin. So, yun po, mas flexible po yung ating MySSS Pension Booster compared to other investment programs. Okay? So, yun po yung kagandahan lang ng ating MySSS Pension Booster kasi wala siyang lock-in na 5 years. So, kung halimbawa nag-invest ka, tapos after 2 years, nagkaroon ng emergency, gusto mong withdrawin lahat ng inyong contribution, pwede po. Okay? Mawi-withdraw nyo siya anytime you want. Okay? So, ang magiging effect lang po niya ay doon sa earnings na pwede po ninyong ma-receive. So, kung yan po, kung wala pa pong 2 years yung inyong investment kay SSS, up to 60% lang po ninyo ng earnings yung pwede nyo ma-receive. Kung less than 5 years po, nasa 90%. Okay? Pero pag umabot po ng at least 5 years yung inyong investment sa My SSS Pension Booster, 100% po ng earnings ang yung makukuha ninyo. Okay? So again, yan po yung ating My SSS Pension Booster. Okay. So in case of members debt, kung halimbawa po, what if nag-i-invest ako sa My SSS Pension Booster? If ever namatay ako, sabi ng tatanong ng member, nawala po ako sa mundo, sino po yung kanino po mapupunta yung inipon ko sa pension booster? So kung sino po yung rightful beneficiaries ninyo under the regular Social Security program, sila rin po. So babalikan ho natin diyan, sino ba ang primary beneficiaries ninyo? Kung wala, pupunta po tayo sa secondary, designated, at panghuli po yung inyong legal heirs. Okay? Now, let's proceed dun sa ating mga privileges, yung ating mga short-term loan programs. So, for the short-term loan programs natin, unahin ko na po yung salary loan. Okay? So, the ever-popular salary loan. So, to qualify, the member must have at least 36 months for 1-month loan and 72 months naman po for 2-month loan. Ang requirement lang ho natin dyan, 6 of which nasa 12-month period prior to month of application. Okay. Ang good news para sa salary loan, kung kayo po ay on time, okay, on time ho yung deduction sa inyo, on time ho yung remittance, wala ho kayong late payments, okay? And at the same time, wala ho kayong inavail na restructuring program, yung condonation program kay SSS for the last 5 years, okay? Ang renewal po ninyo, pag nag-renew ho kayo ng salary loan, ang interest rate na lang po niyan ay 8%. O di ba? Mas mababa siya doon sa original na 10%. Okay? Ganun din yung mga initial application, 8% na po yung inyong interest rate. Okay? And then next, okay, we have the calamity loan. So calamity loan is a loan program for members residing or working in an area declared by NDRRMC under the state of calamity. Okay? So, ang requirement ho natin dyan, yung miyembro po, meron siyang 6 months contribution within the 12-month period prior to the semester of contingency. 6 months contribution within the 12-month period. Okay? And at the same time po, meron siyang, kung yung hulog po niya, yung kabuang hulog po niya, dapat po hindi yan bababa ng 36 months. Okay? So, yan ho yung ating calamity loan. So, nagtapos na ho yung, actually, nag-offer ho yung ng calamity loan ang SSS. Starting nung August 6, nagtapos ho siya nitong September 4. Okay? Then, we have the Educational Assistance Loan Program. So, in addition, yung ating Educational Assistance Loan Program, para po ito sa mga miyembro na gustong mag-aral uli or meron silang pinapaaral na beneficiaries nila. Okay? So, for Educational Assistance Loan Program, ang requirement lang ho natin dyan, yung miyembro po may 36 months, 6 of which nasa 12-month period prior to month of filing. Okay? So, Dalawa ho yan. Kung yung beneficiary po ng ating member borrower ay kukuha ng degree course o vocational course, kung degree course po, maaari ho tayong makapagpautang o maaari ho silang makahiram up to maximum of 20,000 pesos per semester, trimester o quarter term. Ang full allocation ho niya nasa 200,000 pesos. Kung vocational o technical course naman po yung kukunin ng inyong beneficiary, maaari ho kayong makautang ng up to maximum of 10,000 pesos per semester, trimester o quarter term. Okay? Yan. So para naman po sa ating mga retiree, pensioner, okay. Actually, hindi na nga lang po retiree kasi inamed na po natin ito. So yung pension loan natin po ay open na rin po para sa ating mga survivor pensioner. Okay, yung mga nagpe-pension po under death benefit. Okay, may open na rin po yung pension loan sa kanila. So maaari ho silang makahiram for our retiree pensioner. Actually, tinaas na rin po natin yan. So i-update lang po natin to. Hindi na lamang po 200,000 pesos kasi po up to 300,000 pesos na po yung pwede nilang mahiram. So from 3 times, okay, times 3 of their basic monthly pension up to 12 times but not to exceed 300,000 pesos. Yun nga lang po yung edad ng ating borrower should not exceed 85 years old. Ganun naman para po sa ating mga survivorship pensioner naman. Okay? So, ganun din times 3 if their basic monthly pension up to 12 times but not to exceed 150,000 pesos naman po. So yan, good news yan. So para sa ating mga survivorship pensioner na nag-aabang ng pension loan, actually ito po ay inoffer ng SSS para bilang tulong doon sa ating mga retiree ay para sa ating mga pensioner. So hindi na nga lang po retiree but also yung ating mga survivorship pensioner na because of immediate financial need, 'di ba? May biglaang financial na pangangailangan, eh, nagagawa nilang isanla yung kanilang ATM. So, there's no need for them na isanla na ho yung ATM nila. Ang kailangan lang po nilang gawin ay makipag-ugnayan sa pinakamalapit na tanggapan ng SSS kasi po maaari po itong i-submit online or over the counter. Okay? So, yan po yung ating pension loan program. And then, para naman po sa mga miyembro natin na mayroong past due short-term loan. Kung meron ho kayong utang na napabayaan na kay SSS, nag-incur na ho ng penalties. Okay, so meron ho kaming programa na ino-offer sa inyo na kung saan hindi nyo na ho babayaran ng penalty, principal at interest na lamang po. Dalawa ho yung option ninyo. We have the one-time payment and installment. One-time payment, full payment po ito ng consolidated loan within 30 calendar days from the receipt of notice of approval. Okay. Ang installment naman po, may down payment lang tayo dyan na 10%. Okay, of the consolidated loan amount within 30 calendar days from the receipt of notice of approval. Okay, actually minimum of 10%, maximum of 90%. Yung remaining balance, yun na lang po yung pabayaran ninyo monthly. Okay? So, kung yung remaining balance po ninyo ay hindi lalagpas ng 10,000 pesos, ang maximum term po niyan ay nasa 6 months. Kung 18,000 naman, 12 months, 36 months, 24 months, 54,000, 36 months, 72,000, 48 months. At kung hindi ho yan lalagpas ng 7, at kung yan po ay more than 72,000 pesos, up to 5 years o 60 months po yung maximum term. With regard to the mother filing, para po sa mga miyembro natin na interesado mag-avail ng console loan, ayaw na nilang bayaran yung penalty. So, di ba pagkakataon na ito na principal at interest na lamang yung inyong babayaran. Yan. Kailangan nyo lang pong mag-login sa inyong my.sss account and under the loans menu, i-click nyo lang po yung loan penalty condonation. Okay? Yan. So, dako na po tayo doon sa yan, panghuling part ng ating discussion. Legal obligation, okay? Legal obligation of our employer. So, alam nyo ba ano yung mga legal duties and responsibilities ng isang employer? Okay? So, ano ba yung mga legal obligations ng ating mga employer? So, yan, isa-isahin lang ho natin. Okay? Una, okay? Obligasyon po ng mga employer to register their business with SSS by accomplishing the Form R1. Okay? So kung kay SSS o magre-register ho kayo direct kay SSS, you need to accomplish the Form R1. Importante po na nakarehistro po yung inyong negosyo kay SSS. Okay? So meron ho kayong employer SSS number. Also yan, after po na nairehistro po ninyo yung inyong kumpanya, yung inyong negosyo kay SSS, may mga empleyado ho tayo na i-hire. Ano po yung dapat na i-require natin sa ating mga new employees? Okay, kailangan ho nilang mag-present ng SSS number and report them to SSS within 30 days from the hiring date. So paano po ang manner of reporting? Pwede ho yan via the employer's my.sss account. So online na lang po yung pag-report ng ating mga newly hired employee. And also, for your employees also to disclose their existing SSS loan by securing an updated statement of account. So hindi lang po sapat na tatanungin natin yung ating newly hired employee kung meron silang naiwang utang kay SSS. Pag-securein po ninyo sila, pag-submitin po ninyo sila ng updated statement of account. Kasi doon po ninyo makikita kung sila po ay may naiwang utang kay SSS. Okay, what are the other obligations ng ating employer? Deduct from employees' salaries or wages their share in the monthly SSS contribution. Okay? And para po dun sa mga kumikita ng more than 20,000 pesos, their share in the mandatory provident fund. Okay? Mandatory po yung meron ho tayong kagaya ng nabanggit ko kanina, for those employees earning more than 20,000 pesos, meron tayong added contribution na nire-remit kay SSS at ito po ay napupunta sa mandatory provident fund. So yung mandatory provident fund, ito po ay may share contributions between employer and employee then. So kailangan na i-deduct din po ng employer yung share ng employee doon sa sahod ng kanilang empleyado at i-remit ho yan kay SSS together with their share. Okay? Ano pa po? Kagaya ng nabanggit ko kanina, sabi natin, pag-secure natin ng updated statement of account yung ating employee, newly hired employee, para malaman natin kung sila ay may naiwang utang kay SSS. At kung meron po silang naiwang utang kay SSS, okay, deduct from your employee's salary or wages their monthly loan amortization and remit the same together with the loans collection list to SSS branch office using yung ating payment reference number for loans payment. Okay? Ano pa po? Maintain true and accurate records of employees such as but limited to the employment and payroll records. So just in case po, so dapat meron kayong laging nakatabi, okay? Na mga records ng mga empleyado ninyo, yung mga nire-remit po ninyo, yung mga collection list na sinasabit po ninyo kay SSS. So just in case ho na kayo po ay mabisita ng ating accounts officer, readily may documents ho kayo na maipe-present. Okay? Also, kailangan nyo rin pong magtabi ng records of sickness, injury, and death of employees in manual logbook or electronic file for work-connected contingency. So, easy logbook, importante yan. Okay? So, dapat meron din po kayo yan. Kasi paano kung halimbawa na-aksidente yung worker within the company premises. So, yan ho yung magpapatunay na kumbaga work-connected. Okay, so makikita ho natin siyan kailan nangyari yung aksidente, paano na-aksidente yung employee, di ba? So yan po, naka-declare ho yan dun sa inyong logbook. Okay, easy logbook. And yan, present employment or accounting records for inspection upon demand by the SSS. What else? Yan. Dapat po yung employer po, meron ho siya naka-register na disbursement account sa kanilang my.sss. Okay? Kasi po, checklist payment na ho tayo. So lahat po ng mga cash advances ng sickness and maternity benefits sa inyong employee, once na ang employer po ay nag-request ng reimbursement, yan po ay kinikredit natin sa registered disbursement account ng ating employer. Yan, eto. Okay? Kagaya ng nabanggit ko po kanina, uulitin ko lang po. Ang sickness at maternity benefit po ay ina-advance ng employer sa kanilang employees. Okay? Hindi po iniintay ang reimbursement. Ina-advance po dapat yan ng ating employer sa kanilang employee. Kung kaya naman, mapapansin ho ninyo, pag ang employer po ay nag-request ng reimbursement kay SSS, bago po namin bayaran ang employer, meron po kaming pinapadala na notice doon sa employee nila asking the employee natanggap mo ba yung advance payment para sa sickness or maternity benefit. Okay? Natanggap mo ba tong halagang ito? So, kailangan i-certify yan ng employee nila na natanggap yung advance payment or else, kung nag-lapse within 7 days lang po yung binibigay po namin sa ating mga employer, kung hindi ho yan na-certify ng employee nila o di kaya naman po, sinabi ng employee nila, wala akong natanggap. So, hindi niya sinertify kasi wala nga daw siyang natanggap na ganong advance payment, i-reject ho natin yung request for reimbursement ng employer. Okay? Also, for any changes doon sa employer's record, lumipat na ho kayo ng address, nagpalit ho kayo ng contact information ninyo, or nag-cease to operate yung employer, inform nyo lang po sa SSS through SSS Form R8 or yung ating Employer Data Change Request form. Also, annually, dapat po nag-update tayo ng ating specimen signature card. And, yan. Ensure that all SSS forms submitted are properly and accurately accomplished. And certify SSS-related documents of your employees when required for their claims. Kasi halimbawa, si employee po, nag-submit ho siya ng kanyang application for salary loan, hindi po yan kaagad na pupunta kay SSS for processing. Dadaan pa po yan sa employer for their certification. Okay? So, and lastly, yan. Keep your employees updated on the changes in SSS policies, rules, and regulation, and comply with the rules and regulations promulgated by the Social Security Commission and implemented by the SSS. So, importante ho yan na dapat ina-update po ninyo yung mga employees ninyo sa mga bagong polisiya ng SSS. So, sa paanong paraan? Hindi lang po yung pagpapaskil pag may mga kasi po may nilalabas po ang SSS na mga circulars. So kagaya po ngayon, meron tayong bagong circular para sa pension loan program. Okay? So hindi lang po sa pagpapaskil yan ng mga circulars. Okay? So sa paanong paraan pa po? Pwede rin ho kayo mag-invite sa amin. Okay? You can invite us to conduct an orientation for your employees. So that's another way of keeping your employees updated. Okay? So para doon sa ating mga employers who failed, okay, to follow their obligations, okay? So ano yung mga sanctions and liabilities? So may mga criminal case ho tayo. So ano yung mga criminal case natin? So yun ho yung mga failure or refusal to register the business, to report the employees, to produce record, and to deduct and remit contributions or loan and or loan amortization of employees to SSS. For civil liabilities naman po, ito po yung mga unpaid SSS contribution plus 2% monthly penalty from the date of contributions fails due until fully paid. Okay? Ano pa po? Unpaid SSS loan amortization deducted from the employees plus interest and penalty. So, dineduct ninyo, hindi nyo niremit kay SSS. Okay? So, ganun din sa contributions. Nagdeduct kayo, pero hindi nyo naman niremit kay SSS. Okay? What else? Damages for unpaid or underpaid employee contribution prior to the occurrence of employee contingency. Underpaid sila. Okay? So, yung empleyado ninyo, sumasahod pala siya ng nasa 30,000 pesos. So, pero ang ginawa ng employer, pinalabas niya doon sa record na ang sahod lang ng empleyado niya nasa 20,000 pesos lang para wala siyang babayaran na contribution para sa mandatory provident fund. So that's civil liability. Okay? What else? Damages for failure to report employee prior to the occurrence of employee contingency. So yan po, hindi naman nakalimutan, hindi niya ni-report. Okay? Tapos, kasi ganito po yan kagaya na binanggit ko po kanina, balikan ho natin na yung reporting of newly hired employee. Meron ho kayong 30 days to report your newly hired employee, but What if, okay, lumagpas na yung 30 days, okay, hindi mo pa rin na-report yung employee, hindi ka nakapagbayad ng contribution, tapos may nangyari sa employee ninyo, okay? So that's civil liability, okay? So ano yung mga administrative sanctions natin? Non-issuance of SSS clearance or certification for issuance, renewal of business permit, licenses, and other legal purposes. What else? Suspension of employer-employee loan privileges in case of loan delinquency and issuance of warrant of restraint, levy, and garnishment. So ano yung mga penal sanctions natin? Fine of 5,000 to 20,000 pesos para po sa mga violation kagaya ng failure to register as employer or failure to register employees, failure to deduct contributions and remit the same to the SSS. Ganun din, fine of 5 to 10 fine of 5,000 pesos to 20,000 pesos or imprisonment of 6 years and 1 day to 12 years or both at the discretion of the court for other violations, and imprisonment up to maximum of 20 years for other violations with penalties provided under the revised penal code. So yung mga example, kagaya nagkaroon ng falsification, swindling, and other deceits. So sino po yung pwedeng ma-charge? Okay? For sole proprietor, yung owner. Kung partnership naman po yung partners. Para naman po sa corporation, association, and cooperatives, yung president, general manager, trustees, or directors of the board. Okay? So that ends my presentation. So ayan po, actually ano lang po ito, paalala lang. So yan, we are encouraging our members to download the new SSS mobile app. So marami na tayong mga available services po dyan at magdadagdag pa po tayo. So para po sa mas mabilis at pinadaling pag-access ng inyong record, i-download nyo na po ang SSS mobile app. And also paalala sa ating mga miyembro, yan. So hindi po tumatawag or nagpapadala ng mensaheng SSS upang mag-alok ng assistance, okay? Sa pag-update ng inyong records, okay? So mag-ingat po tayo, okay? Also, ayan, para po sa madaling pag-connecta kay SSS, okay? So yung aming mga social media channels po, pininisan na lang po namin yung kanilang pangalan. So Mapa, Viber, Twitter, or hindi na Twitter, X na po siya, Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook. Hanapin nyo lang po ang My SSS PH. Okay? So, yan na po yung SSS official social media channel ho namin. Pangalan ho ng ating social media channels, My SSS PH. Okay? Okay, so dyan po nagtatapos yung ating presentation. So maraming salamat po at tandaan po lagi natin sa SSS, sigurado ang bukas. Thank you at mabuting araw.
Thank you very much, Sir Jomer, for that informative presentation. I'm sure na maraming natutunan ang ating taga-panood. Now, it's time for our Q&A portion. We are now gonna start answering the questions submitted during today's presentation. But you can still submit your questions to the comment section, and Sir Jomer will be happy to share answers and advice. So,
Hello?
um, kindly wait po for the questions to be shown po. And I'm sure na marami pong questions ang ating mga viewers. At dahil nga po ay topic po is about sa SSS, so I think na a lot of questions are pouring in right now po sa ating Facebook Live. So, for now po, let us wait po. For Okay po, sir. Ang first question po natin is, meron po ako naka-work na hindi nakapasok ng September 1 to 15 dahil bed rest po siya. Paano po ako mag-a-apply ng sickness sa SSS? Ano po ang need ibigay sa HR namin?
Okay. So ganito yan. So probably bed rest, so baka related yan sa ano no, sa pregnancy. So pwede ho i-claim yan under sickness benefit. So ang kailangan lang po is yung mga medical documents, bakit ho siya kailangan mag-bed rest, baka may kumbaga may threatened abortion or threatened na ano bang tawag nito? Nga po, threatened abortion siya. So, kumbaga, baka delikado yung pagbubuntis, may bleeding na nangyayari. So, kaya ho siya pinag-bed rest. So, yun po. Yung mga medical documents na magagaling doon sa kanyang attending physician, yun ho yung isasubmit ng employer niya kay SSS para po makapag-claim ng sickness benefit.
Ayun nga po. Thank you po, Sir Jomer. For our second question po, question po about Provident Fund. Separate po ba siya sa monthly contribution?
Actually po, pagka ni-remit siya kay SSS, kasama siya. Sa deduction, kasama siya. Sa remittance, kasama siya. Pero pag pumunta ho kayo, nag-login ho kayo sa inyong my.sss account, makikita nyo po na may separate ledger. Makikita nyo ho doon magkano na po yung na-contribute ninyo under the mandatory provident fund as well as yung kanyang earnings.
Thank you po for the answer, Sir Jomer. For our third question po, paano po pag example 5 days sick leave or SL pero paid po yung 2 days? Ma-reimburse po ba yung 3 days?
Yes, marireimburse pa rin yung 3 days kasi ang rule naman natin, yung, ang rule naman natin dyan ay, sorry, nakalimutan ko i-on yung aking camera. There you go. So, ayan. So, marireimburse pa rin yung 3 days kasi ang rule naman natin dyan, ang miyembro ay nagkasakit ng hindi bababa ng 4 na araw. So, since nagkasakit siya ng 5 days, so na-meet niya yung qualifying condition for contribution, so mababayaran pa rin po yung 3 days.
Thank you po for the clarification, Sir Jomer. For our fourth question po, anong pwedeng gawin ng employee kung di siya kinakaltasan ng SSS? Kung may kaltas naman at di nag-reflect sa SSS, saan
Hmm.
magre-report at anong action ang gagawin ng SSS dito?
Okay. So, unang action na gagawin ninyo is, kung kinakaltasan kayo pero walang nagre-reflect na contribution, 'di ba? So, punta kayo sa aning limang tanggapan ng SSS na malapit sa inyo. Actually, pwede nyo unang gawin muna, baka siguro to give benefit of the doubt doon sa employer ninyo, baka mamaya kasi kaya naman walang nagre-reflect doon sa records ninyo, baka may mali lang doon sa reporting na ginagawa ng employer. So, coordinate with your employer. Tingnan mo na, may remittance ba? Okay? So, nagre-remit ba sila? Gumagawa ba sila ng collection list? So, kung wala silang maipakitang katunayan na sila ay nag-remit, wala silang maipakitang proof ng any collection list na sinasabit kay SSS, so ang next step po ninyo ay pumunta na po doon sa pinakamalapit na SSS office at mag-file ho kayo ng complaint. At ang gagawin ho natin, meron ho tayo mga accounts officer na bibisita po doon sa inyong employer to check their records.
Thank you po for answering that question, Sir Jomer. For our next question po, paano po gagawin kung nag-file ng sickness sa HR namin pero hindi naman inaksyonan at pinasa sa SSS?
Okay. So, may negligence yung employer natin kung totoong nangyari nga yan. So, may negligence yung ating employer. So, ano pong mangyayari? So, una, mag-file kayo ng complaint kay SSS. Okay? Kasi kung mapatunayan talaga na may negligence on the part of the employer, nagpasa kayo ng mga documents on time, unfortunately, hindi siya inaksyonan ng employer ninyo to the point na na-reject na yung claim nung sinubmit kasi nga late filing na. So, ang magbabayad niyan kung qualified talaga yung miyembro sa benepisyo, kay ang sasagot niyan, ang magbabayad diyan ay walang iba kundi yung employer nila.
Thank you po, Sir Jomer. For our next question po ulit, lang po, Pag kasal po yung mag-asawa, meron pong 5
Hmm.
days paternity leave yung lalaki. Bukod pa po ba yung 7 days na allocation leave na pwede ipasa sa asawang lalaki.
Yes, on top pa siya kagaya ng nabanggit ko kanina kung kasal ho yung, babaeng miyembro, okay dun sa child's father. So, on top pa po yung, 7 days na allocated leave. Pero again, tatandaan po natin hindi po ito ano ha, hindi po ito, desisyon ng child's father. Desisyon po ito ng ating female member kung mag-a-allocate siya. Kasi tandaan po natin ang pinag-uusapan po natin dito yung benepisyong makukuha niya from SSS and from her employer, 'di ba? Kasi kung entitled siya sa salary differential. Kasi kung ibabawas natin yung 7 days, so yung benefit na maaari niya makuha, yung full pay na matatanggap niya ay equivalent na lamang to 98 days. Kasi nga po yung 7 days, i-allocate yan doon sa child's father at hindi ho yan reimbursable yung 7 days na yon. Kung may mga employer na nakikinig sa atin na nanonood, hindi po yan reimbursable kay SSS. Okay? So added leave credit ho yan doon sa child's father.
Yeah po. Thank you po for the clarification, Sir Jomer. For our next question po, pag wala pang employee, required po ba i-register ang company sa SSS?
Yes, puwede naman po 'yun, eh. Puwede naman po na i-register yung company pero wala pang submission ng R1A kasi wala pa naman siyang employee. Kumbaga hindi pa siya nag-ooperate, puwede po 'yun.
Ayun po, thank you po for the clarification, Sir Jomer. And for our po, next question po, pag wala pang employee, I mean, our next question, I think that's the final question na po for this,
Oh, naku,
meron
'yun na
pa,
pala.
meron pa po.
Naku umabol pa.
Yes, may humabol pa. Eto po,
Naku,
question
akala ko
po.
last na, eh.
If hindi po na-advance yung maternity benefit ni employer, including salary differential sa TAEM, na po ba papasok yung 55 SSS benefit? Sir,
Naka-ano ko, hello, ayan, okey na ba?
yes po.
Ayan.
Yeah.
So ang tanong is kung hindi nag-cash advance ng maternity benefit ang employer, ano yung kasunod niya?
Ano po, kung hindi po advance yung maternity benefit ni employer, including yung salary differential
Mhm.
sa DAME o DAEM na po ba papasok yung SSS benefit?
Sa DAEM.
Yes po.
Sa DAEM is Disbursement Account Enrollment Module. So hindi po. Okay? Kasi again, ang policy natin diyan is dapat na i-advance ng employer yung maternity benefits sa employee. 'Pag ang member ay employed, never ho na magbabayad ang SSS direct to the member. Same with SS sickness benefit. Hindi po siya idedirekta kay member, okay kung ang miyembro po natin ay employed. Yan po ang policy ho natin diyan ay dapat na i-advance yan ng employer at hindi po siya option ng employer, okay. So hindi ho yan option ng employer na kung i-a-advance ba niya o hindi. Siya po ay mandated by law na i-advance yung sickness and maternity benefit, actually including salary differential sa kaniyang, empleyado. Okay, so yun po yun. So kung hindi po ginawa ng employer yung kanilang obligasyon, then pwede pong mag-file ng complaint yung employee kay SSS against her employer at ayan po i-action na natin.
Yeah po, sir. Thank you po for that extensive answer po. Next question po. Paano mag-file ng EC sa SSS?
Okay. So for the filing of EC benefit kay SSS, we're talking about EC sickness kasi yung disability ano na yan, kumbaga personal na siya. So for EC sickness benefit, ano yan po, pwede ho yan na actually ang filing po yan kung employed ho, ayan, for employed members Okay? So, ang kailangan lang pong gawin diyan ng employer, meron ho kasi do'n, sabay ho yan ng filing din ano eh. Do'n din po yan sa filing ng sickness benefit as a sickness benefit. So, meron lang po, may ititik lang po yung employer doon. May tanong ho kasi doon na, is this work related? So, ititik lang ho niya, yes or no. So, pagka-clinic niya na ho, pag tinik po ng employer yung yes, so meron pong madadagdag na option doon na meron siyang additional document na i-attach doon sa sickness claim o sickness notification na isasabit kay SSS to prove na yun po ay work connected. So like accident report form, i-attach po yun. Okay, so yun po. O kaya naman po kung halimbawa nangyari yung accident with the company premises, yung ano po, kopya po ng ano, ng easy logbook. So yun po. Yun po yung mga i-attach.
Yes po. Thank you po, Sir Jomer, for that answer. Sa susunod na question po natin, bakit po sa employer portal po pasok ang unemployment benefits? Subject for approval,
Bakit sa employer portal
pumapasok ang
pumapasok ang
unemployment benefits po.
Okay. So, actually, hindi siya, ano, yung unemployment benefit natin, ano yan, ano yan, sorry, na true employer, ano yan, personal submission yan ng member natin. Dumadaan siya, may mga instances kasi na dadaan siya sa employer further certification, like for example, yung empleyado nagsubmit siya ng ano ng claim niya for unemployment benefit. Sabi niya doon, I was separated from employment because of redundancy. So sinelect niya yung reason na redundancy. So nilagay niya doon, ito yung date of separation ko. Halimbawa, nilagay niya doon September 23. 2025 yung date of separation ko. So, dadaan siya kay employer to certify. Okay? So, isa-certify ng employer. Tama ba yung reason na nilagay ng employee na redundancy, yung reason bakit siya terminate? Tama ba yung date of separation na nilagay niya na September 23? Kasi kung hindi po, i-reject lang po ng employer yon. So, ang mangyayari po, mare-reject po yung application, madi-deny po yung application ng employee, magre-resubmit lang po siya. Okay, so parang nangyayari lang ho is sinucertify ng employer na tama yung mga reason na nilagay doon ng former employee nila.
Yan po. For our next question po, unemployment benefit po, about po sa unemployment benefit. If an employee applies for unemployment benefits but secures new employment within 2 months, does
Mhm.
this affect their eligibility for the benefit initially filed? And my
Okay.
additional question po, if
Mhm.
the application is approved but the individual is hired within that last 2-month period, could this impact their entitlement to SSS benefits?
Yes, so definitely it will have an impact or effect to their claim because first, if they were hired within that period, then ang mangyayari lang, even though nakapag-submit si member ng kanilang unemployment benefit, na process na yan ng SSS, so ang mangyayari lang, titingnan natin, may pumasok ba na contribution? So kung less than 1 month lang naman, less than a month sila na nawalan ng trabaho, okay? So ano mangyayari? Kung sakaling maaprubahan yung kanilang unemployment benefit, okay, makredit yan sa kanilang bank account, that will be deducted from their future benefit. So ano magti-trigger doon? Ang magti-trigger din is of course the contribution. Kasi makikita namin, yung last 2 months ba may contribution ka diyan. So kung yung employer mo na yung bago mong employer nag-remit ng contribution para sa iyo para doon sa 2 months na kini-claim mo rin kay SSS na ang sabi mo wala kang trabaho. So ang mangyayari lang po, babawiin lang ng SSS yung unemployment benefit na nauna nang naibayad sa iyo. So ganun lang siya po.
Yan. Thank you po, Sir
Kaya ang
Jomer.
gawin mo na, kung natanggap mo na, i-Jollibee mo na. I-Jollibee mo na. Tapos kasi wag mo lang kalimutan na, ay, naku, babawiin pala sa akin to ng SSS sa, ano, sa future benefit ko. Kasi nga, kumbaga ano kumbaga hindi kayo entitled, yun lang po yun. Hindi po tayo entitled dun sa benefit na nakuha natin kasi nga ang sabi nga natin at at least 1 month wala kang trabaho. Kasi kung halimbawa sa ibang tanong, paano kung halimbawa, kasi yung benefit po na matatanggap ninyo good for 2 months halimbawa 1 month ka lang nawalan ng trabaho. So yung ibabawas namin yung 1 month doon sa future benefit mo. Pero yun na nga, may mga instances kasi tayo na halimbawa 2 weeks lang na nawalan ng trabaho, agad-agad after a day ng pagka-separate, a day or two from the date of separation, nag-claim na kaagad kay SSS. So, nabayaran na natin. Yung pala, 2 weeks lang naman pala na nawalan ng trabaho. So, makikita namin sa system, may pumasok na contribution for the months na nabayaran siya ng unemployment benefit. So, ibabawas po natin siya doon sa future benefit ninyo.
Yan. Thank you po, sir, sa inyong nakakabusog na advice.
Mm.
Okay po. For our next question po, makakatanggap pa din po ba ng pension kahit matagal nang hindi nahulugan ang SSS?
Yes, ang ating yung long-term benefit natin, yung nabanggit ko kanina, ano ba yung mga long-term benefit? Disability, retirement, death benefit, okay, funeral benefit, yung mga yan, hindi niya nire-require na meron kang recent contribution. So, kahit na matagal na yung hulog mo, like for example, sa retirement, meron kang 120 contribution, pero yung 120 months mo na yun, that's way back. Sabihin na lang natin, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, okay? Nag 60 years old ka na ngayon, qualified ka, meron kang at least 120, file ka ng retirement, magpe-pension ka kay SSS. So doon papasok yung ano natin, yung kasabihan kay SSS na once a member is always a member of SSS.
Yeah. Thank you po, Sir Jower. For our next question po ulit, ask lang po, 60 years old, meron na po siyang total of 162 months contribution sa
Mhm.
SSS. Ano po mangyayari sa sobrang months?
Wala tayong ano diyan, wala tayong tinatawag na sobrang contribution. Ang laging mindset lagi natin kay SSS, the more your contributions are, the higher it is, then the higher your benefit will be. Ganun lagi tayo. Yung 120 na binanggit natin kanina, yun lang po yung minimum number na kakailanganin para mag-pension tayo kay SSS. Pero kung more than 120 yung hulog mo, sabihin na lang natin may 200, 300, 400 months ka na hulog kay SSS, matataas yung hulog mo. Nung nag-umpisa ka nagtrabaho, nandun ka sa minimum, pero katagalan ng panahon, andun ka na, nasa maximum ka na, mataas na yung hinuhulog mo kay SSS, then expect a higher benefit. Kasi again, mindset natin, mas marami, mas malaki ang hulog, then mas malaki ang benefit na pwede nating matanggap.
Yun po. Thank you po, sir. Next question po. Meron po kaming aplikante na meron partial disability pension. Magtutuloy-tuloy pa rin po ba yung pension niya if na-hire siya? Need din po ba ang monthly SSS deduction?
Okay. So, yun yung kagandahan ng ating partial disability. Ang partial disability, hindi ka nire-require na dapat wala kang trabaho. So, halimbawa, sabihin lang natin ito, naputol itong hinlalaki. Kagaya na nabanggit ko kanina, naputol siya, sagad, that's 10 months. 10 buwan kang pagpe-pensionin. So, wala pang 1 month. Minsan magaling na to, di ba? Pwede ka na magtrabaho. Nag-back to work ka na. So, ang tanong, titigil ba yung pension mo sa SSS na habang ikaw ay nagtatanggap ng pension para sa naputol na hinlalaki? Hindi po. Tuloy-tuloy siya. Okay? So, hindi po nire-require na kayo po ay tumigil sa pagtatrabaho. Ano po yung type of disability na dapat totally wala ka ng papasok na contribution, hindi ka na employed? Ito po yung total disability. Okay? So ano ba yung mga total disability? Paralysis or amputation ng both arms or both legs, complete blindness or head injury that results in insanity. So yan yung mga example ng total disability natin na kung saan Kung kayo po ay tumatanggap ng monthly pension, dapat po wala na papasok na bagong contribution sa inyo or else titigil ho yung inyong pension kay SSS.
Thank you po for that answer, Sir Jomer.
Welcome.
Ang next question po is, paano po yung mga namatay na nakapaghulog pero hindi po nakumpleto ang hulog? Paano po makukuha yun hulog ng miyembro?
Okay. So, ganito po yan. Kung namatay ang miyembro, okay, hindi siya nakapag-claim. Halimbawa, hindi siya nakapag-claim ng retirement benefit kay SSS. Okay. Pero meron siyang mga beneficiary. Doon papasok yung death benefit natin. Hahanapin natin sino ba yung inyong mga naiwang beneficiary kay SSS. Kung meron kang primary beneficiary, so sino bang primary beneficiary? Asawang pinakasalan, okay? Dependent legal spouse at saka yung inyong mga minor child or children. Ang minor child and children, yan po yung mga inyong legitimate, legitimated, legally adopted, and illegitimate minor child below 21 years old. Okay? Pension po yung matatanggap nila. Basta ay yung miyembro na namatay po ay nakapaghulog ng hindi bababa sa 36 months. So yun po. So hindi ho masasayang yung hulog ninyo kay SSS kasi again, ang gagawin lang po natin, hahanapin po natin sino po yung rightful beneficiary ninyo at sa kanila po natin ibibigay yung benepisyo.
And po, thank you for that informative answer po, Sir Jomer. Ang next question po, at ang sabi po ng previous employer ng anak ko, kaya daw po walang nagre-reflect sa SSS na anak ko na contribution is because single proprietor siya and exempted daw po siya to pay statutory benefits. Hindi po ba kaya nga statutory kasi kailangan binabayaran yan ng employer? She is running a restaurant with less than 50 employees, kaya micro business daw sila and di sila talaga nagbabayad ng SSS. Tama po ba yun?
Ganito po yan. Hindi ho, wala ho tayong exemption pagdating dyan. Especially dun sa mga statutory benefit. So, ganito na lang po. Hindi hindi na lang sa ano, hindi na lang sa microbusiness. Meron tayong kasambahay. Punta na lang tayo sa mga kasambahay, 'di ba? Ang coverage ho ng kasambahay, may isa kang kasambahay, you are required to report your kasambahay in SSS. You are required to secure an employer number. Okay? Kahit isa lang po ha, may kasambahay ka. Hindi ho wala hong requirement yan na dapat may dalawa muna o tatlo yung kasambahay mo bago may report kay SSS. Hindi po, isa lang. May isa kang kasambahay. You are required. Same din po sa ating mga So yun po ang tinutukoy natin dyan ha, ay household employer. So it applies to all types of employers. So hindi lang po household employer, even yung mga regular employers. Kahit may isa kang empleyado, you are required to secure an employer SSS number and you are required to report your employee in SSS. Okay?
Yan po, salamat po, Sir Jomer. Ang next question po. Question, is it mandatory for employers to deduct the full remaining balance of an employee's short-term loan from their final pay upon separation?
Yes, it is required because nakalagay ho yan under Circular 14P natin na pagka ang employee po ay na-separate from employment voluntarily or involuntarily at meron siyang naiwang utang kay SSS, okay? Obligasyon ng employer to deduct, okay, the total balance from his or her benefit due to separation and remit the whole amount to SSS. So nakalagay ho yan sa ating Circular 14P. Okay?
Okay po. For our next question po. For employers, may condition program din po ba? May
Condonation.
condotion program rather po. Condotion program.
Yes, condonation program. Ang meron lang po tayo yung sorry. May contribution condonation program tayo for employer. Pero ano lang ho yan, kumbaga may certain period lang po. If not mistaken, during the time of pandemic ho yan eh. Kasi may mga employer ho noon na hindi ho nakapag-remit because of nagkaroon ng, kumbaga may problema doon sa business nila. So yun ho. So meron tayong ino-offer na contribution condonation sa kanila.
Yan po,
I-check na
salamat.
lang po, pwede ho sila makipag-coordinate sa kanilang accounts officer para to check if they are qualified.
Yan po sir, salamat po. And another question po. Ano po ang basis ng isang employer to be exempted from paying SSS contributions?
Wala tayong exemption for our employer. Wala tayong exemption, wala tayong mababanggit na exemption na basis because wala tayong exemption. Kagaya na nabanggit ko kanina, basta meron kang kahit isang empleyado, okay, hinar mo, you are required na i-report sila kay SSS. You are required to secure an employer number, you are required na i-report sila kay SSS. Kahit isa lang yan.
Po. So I think that wraps up po our Q&A portion. Once
Thank
again, a
you.
huge thank you to Sir Jomer Gonzalez for being with us today. Do you have any final thoughts po or any additional advice po sa ating mga viewers, sir?
Yan, okay. So, maraming salamat sa Dole BWC for inviting us to share this na itong knowledge na to, itong information na to. So, ipo-promote ko lang. So, aside from this session, so you can invite us. So, para sa ating baka may mga employers na nakikinig sa atin ngayon, nanonood sa atin, you can invite us. We can do orientations for your employees. Sabi nga natin, that is part of your obligations. Then, hindi lamang sa pagpapaskil ng mga circular, pwede po ninyo kaming i-invite sa inyong mga offices to do an orientation and the seminar is free of charge. It is for free. Wala ko yung babayaran doon. Okay? So, kung halimbawa po, wala tayong venue, wala kayong may provide na venue to do the orientation, we can do it online, kagaya nito. Yan, we can set up. Pwede ho kami ang gumawa ng virtual room. Ipadala lang namin yung link sa inyo. Just send us a request. Yung request po, ipadala nyo lang po sa member_education@sss.gov.ph. I-address nyo na lang po sa akin. So, yun po. At actionan po natin yan. So, again, maraming salamat. Ipakalat ho natin yung tamang impormasyon. Huwag ho tayong makinig sa mga, kumbaga, yung mga kwento-kwento tungkol kay SSS kung hindi ho tayo sigurado. You can communicate, you can call us, you can message us through message. Open ho kami sa sa Facebook po. Pwede ho kayo sa amin. Pwede ho kayo makipag-chat sa amin at sasagutin po namin kayo. So, ayan. So, ituring ho natin yung contribution natin not as a burden but as an investment. Wala hong ibang makikinabang dito kundi kayo at ang inyong mga beneficiaries. Kasi again, sa SSS, sigurado ang bukas. Maraming salamat at mabuting araw.
Maraming salamat po, sir. And I think employers and employees alike are more than interested po na i-avail ang inyong information advocacy programs po. And again po, maraming salamat po, Sir Jomer. And I think happy anniversary po sa inyo sa SSS.
Thank
I think
you.
68th anniversary po.
Yes,
Yes.
68 na kami.
Yes. Happy anniversary po, sir. Thank you po. And also, thank you po sa lahat ng nag-submit ng questions. Kung meron po kaming hindi nasagot ngayon, rest assured po na ang aming social media team ay sasagutin ang inyong inquiries later. And that concludes our webinar for today. I believe that we can say that it has been a very productive day dahil napakarami po nating natutunan sa ating speaker. If you have further questions, you may send us an email at ask@bwc.dole.gov.ph or you may call the Dole hotline 1349. Again, please follow us at Dole BWC 1949 on Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, and Viber to stay up to date with the latest announcements and activities from BWC and Dole. I-share na rin ninyo ang video na ito online at huwag kalimutang gamitin ang hashtag Webinar Wednesdays para mas marami pa ang maging informed sa mga programa ng BWC, Dole at ng kanilang mga attached agencies para sa kapakanan ng mga manggagawang Pilipino. Once again, this is your host, Rowan Vargas, and on behalf of the Bureau of Working Conditions, thank you for joining us today. Stay safe and see you again sa ating next episode. Bye-bye po.
Para sa mga katanungan at karagdagang impormasyon, maaari po tayong tumawag sa DOLE Hotline 1349 o sumambuni sa mga DOLE Regional o Field Office na nakakasakop sa inyong lugar paggawa.